first in housing development broadcasting.
A warm welcome and thank you for joining us on Housing TV News at the top of the hour. Coming to you from our studio in Abuja, I am Mimuna Bagudo. Our top stories. Federal government targets a 60% increase in Nigerians' raw material value addition. Senate orders states, local governments to comply with Supreme Court judgment. Minister of Housing assures Zamfara State citizens affordable housing. River State elders charge police on professionalism in post-local government election crisis investigation. On the foreign scene, Kuwait expands housing project, open doors to foreign developers. We begin the news with the Senate. The Senate has accused state governments of using the State Houses of Assembly to enact laws that breach constitutional provisions and the Supreme Court judgment on granting financial autonomy to local governments in line with the provisions of the constitutions. The Senate on Wednesday reached a resolution on the floor mandating immediate compliance with the Supreme Court's ruling on local government funding after a debate on a motion by Senator Tony Nwoye. Nwoye raised concerns about governors trying to enact laws to control local government funds illegally.
Few state governments, through their respective state House of Assembly, through their different state House of Assembly, seek to enact laws, while some have already enacted laws and continue to take action that undermine the financial autonomy of local governments, thereby breaching the constitutional provision 1999 Constitution as well as the judgment of the Supreme Court. The Senate further concerned that the modus operandi of subverting this financial autonomy of local governments by state government through the House of Assembly is to insert clauses in their state laws that require local governments upon receipt of this federal allocation from federation account to remit all or majority or substantial part of the allocation to a dedicated account who the state government will keep on controlling, managing, and disburse as they like.
A cross-section of lawmakers, including Senator Osita Izunazo and Adamu Alero, underscored the urgency for adherence to judicial mandates to enhance transparency and accountability in local governance.
In supporting this motion, I would like to recall that there is urgent need to amend Section 7 of 1999 Constitution as amended to further guarantee the autonomy of local government. This constitution says that local government is the third tier of government. We have 3 tiers of government in Nigeria: the federal, the state, and local government. So local government should be allowed to exercise that responsibility of a third tier of government. So in any attempt of any state House of Assembly trying to make law that will now mandate this revenue coming to local governments to be controlled by another account before the money gets to local government, I think is undermining the Supreme Court judgment. So they should allow local governments who have already conducted the election for these monies to be paid directly into the coffers of those local governments.
The court has already decided that the money of the local government councils should be released directly to the councils. And for us to start debating it, it's going against the spirit of the Constitution, since there is already a constitutional provision to that effect.
2 prayers are as follows. All states and local governments to fully comply with the recent Supreme Court judgment on the disbursement and utilization of funds accruing to all local governments in Nigeria.
In his ruling, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, assured the House that the National Assembly will take immediate steps to alter sections of the Constitution to give full autonomy to local government administration in the country.
Bordering on attempts to circumvent the ruling of the Supreme Court. And I want to thank all of you for your contributions, and I assure you that the 10th Senate, working with our colleagues in the House of Representatives, will alter any aspect of our Constitution, amend any section of our laws to ensure full autonomy to the local government administrations in this country, so that it will be recognized fully in action and in fact as a third tier of government of the Federation. So I thank you for the motions so far moved.
The House of Representatives has issued a 7-day ultimatum to the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Agip Petrol PLC, now Owando PLC, Wale Tinubu, and the management team of ATIO led by Victor Okoronko to appear before the Parliament over the perennial issue of oil spillage in some oil-producing communities. The Chairman, Joint House Committee on Environment and Petroleum Resources Upstream, Petroleum Downstream, Honorable Julius Pondi, issued the ultimatum at the investigative hearing on the environmental impact of transporting crude oil by mega seagoing vessels from Nembe Creek Chalk to offshore crude oil storage in the Atlantic Ocean by ATIO E&P. Pondi expressed his displeasure over the failure of Owando to appear before the committee, despite being sent letters of invitation, but bluntly refused to honor the invitation.
That we deploy our parliamentary powers to summon these oil companies to appear before us, and if we need to issue an arrest warrant if the need arises, that these oil companies be made to appear before us unfailingly. I so move, Mr. Chair.
It is important that we make this call, because if we don't, it will get to a time when we will call for stakeholders to appear, and we will get similar and funny attitude like this. This is our environment, for crying out loud. People are deliberately, we are asking, come and explain. We have a petition, we have a motion, come and explain your own side of the story so that Nigerians can hear you. If you keep dodging parliamentary calls, it is not the best way to go. So it's important that they are compelled to appear. And if they don't appear, Parliament will deploy every arsenal at its disposal to make them appear. So in support of the motion, ably moved by the Deputy Chairman and seconded by Honorable Esosa, say aye. Aye. Again, say nay. The ayes have it. So, Clerk, please put a strong worded letter to them that they have 7 days to appear before this Parliament.
Earlier in his remark, the Speaker, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, who was represented by the Chief of the House, Honorable Bello Kumo, assured that the Parliament has the interest to safeguard the people's welfare, hence the reason for the joint hearing.
Economic impasse inflicted on these, our host communities. These host communities are agrarian communities. They are known for farming. They are known for fishing. And the activities of this oil split impacted on them in relation to the water they take, in relation to their fishery, in relation to their farming, pollution, and other issues that need to be addressed as a parliament.
The committee has directed the clerk to the panel to write a strongly worded letter to the Owando CEO and ATIO to appear within 7 days before the joint committee. The House of Representatives has resolved to mandate the Committee on Constitutional Review to address delays in the Nigerian justice delivery system in order to restore confidence in the judiciary and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. This followed the adoption of a motion on the need to restore confidence in the Nigerian judiciary, a plenary moved by Honorable Ganiyu Ayuba, a member representing Ali Mosho Federal Constituency, Lagos State. In the motion, Honorable Ayuba expressed worries that in some states, cases in trial courts that should be resolved within months usually last for 4 to 5 years before judgment is delivered, especially in long-term detentions of suspects, prolonged chieftaincy disputes, and unresolved commercial litigation, which pose significant challenges to democratic and economic progress.
Concerned that, notwithstanding the creation of this court, the delay still being experienced in the delivery of justice in our judicial system is highly alarming and gradually eroding the confidence of common man in judiciary. Mr. Speaker, the House worry that in some states of the Federation, cases at the High Court, which by their nature ought to be dispensed within months, last between 4 to 5 years before judgment is delivered.
Contributors to the debate attributed prison congestion as dilapidated structures, as well as overstretching of the correctional service facilities as part of the reasons for the lapses in the judiciary.
Mr. Speaker, one of the major problems we have with our justice delivery system, for example, today, can be seen in the cases in our various correctional centers. Prisons that were built or correctional facilities that were built to take, for example, 100 persons in the 70s, where facilities have not been expanded till today, have thousands of people languishing in them. And Mr. Speaker, of the number of persons in our correctional facilities, I can say, without any form of doubt, that over 60 to 70% are people who are awaiting trial. Some of them are in the correctional facilities for a period that is even longer than the time they would have been convicted for if they were eventually found guilty of such alleged offenses.
I want to suggest, Mr. Speaker, that we amend the prayer to read that all the submissions that had to do with this issue be submitted to the Constitutional Review, and the public hearing of the Constitutional Review should prioritize this issue that have been deliberated firmly by the House.
Also at plenary, the House resolved to urge the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, implement the Exports Prohibition Act 2004 to curb food smuggling and food insecurity in Nigeria. The resolution, amongst others, is sequel to a motion entitled Need to Curb Export Prohibition Act to Curb Insecurity in Nigeria, sponsored by Honorable Mukhtar Sagaya, member representing Ilorin West Federal Constituency, Kwara State. The motion was adopted and was referred to the Committee on Agricultural Production and Services, Commerce and Industry, Customs and Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Now to national matters, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has asked the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, to sell premium motor spirit, PMS, also known as petrol, to its marketers at the Dangote Petroleum Refinery rate or refund the oil marketers' money. The national president of IPMAN, Abubakar Shatima, said the marketers' money has been with the National Oil Company for 3 months. Shatima said the National Oil Company has directed the IPMAN members to buy the products from them at the rate of 1,010 naira in Lagos, 1,045 naira in Calabar, 1,050 naira in Port Harcourt, and 1,040 naira in Warri. Speaking further, Shatima expressed displeasure that the NNPC stands that marketers should buy petrol directly from the Dangote refinery. The federal government says it is set to achieve a target of 60% value addition in raw materials from the current 25%. Uche Inaji, Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, said this recently at a dialogue session organized by Raw Materials Research and Development Council in Abuja. According to reports, the presentation and dialogue session had science and technology stakeholders, strategic donor agencies and development partners in attendance. Inaji said that achieving the 60% goal represented a bold vision for Nigerians' future, while raw materials are not exported in their crude form but processed and enriched to maximize value before exportation. He said that Nigerians' raw materials sector held vast potential not for the growth of our economy and for creating a resilient, self-sustaining industrial base that benefits all Nigerians. On the Federal Executive Council has approved the third stanza of the new national anthem as the new national prayer. The National Orientation Agency NOA's Director General, Malam Lanre Isa Onilu, stated this during a media briefing tagged Sensitization and National Anthem, Identity Project, Values Charter and Renewed Hope of the President on Thursday in Oshobo. Onilu said that the national anthem was aimed at evoking positive sentiment in citizens to ginger them towards patriotic endeavors. Onilu also said that the agency had begun sensitization and awareness creation on the National Values Charter, which would soon be unveiled by President Bola Tinubu. He added that FEC had also approved the mandatory inclusion of the charter as part of the curriculum of schools at both basic and post-basic levels. Former Governor of Rivers State and the Chairman of Rivers State Elders and Leaders Forum, Rufus Ada George, has called on the people of the state to remain peaceful despite the political provocation emanating from the just concluded local government council elections in the state. Speaking with journalists during a press conference in Port Harcourt, the chairman of the forum called on the Nigerian police in the state to implement the directive of the president in ensuring proper investigation over the crisis that led to the burning of some council secretariat in the state.
We thank President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, in suing for peace and asking aggrieved parties and individuals who feel dissatisfied with the outcome of the election to use the cause for amicably resolutions of their grievances. We urge the Nigerian police force to immediately implement the President's directives of providing security in the local government forces offices in carrying out their constitutional responsibilities, maintaining law and order, protecting lives and property of the citizenry, devoid of partisanship.
Also speaking, former Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Gabriel Toby, however,